All right, let's jump right in. Today we're going to deconstruct one of the most powerful endorsements you can find in the entire book of Revelation. We're going to see what it really means to get a divine stamp of approval, and we'll do it all by looking at just one single, incredibly packed verse.
So let's kick things off with a pretty big question. What does an A+ in faith actually look like? If there was a kind of ultimate performance review, what would the criteria be? What would they be looking for? It's a huge question, but lucky for us, the Bible gives us a surprisingly specific answer. And here it is. This verse, written to the church in Ephesus, is basically that divine performance review. And wow, is it packed with detail. It lays out a two-part blueprint for what a genuine, commended faith looks like. And get this, it's not just about what they did, it's also about what they refused to put up with. Let's break this down.
Okay, part 1. First up, we have the foundation of it all, the work of endurance. Now, this isn't about flashy, one-off gestures. Nope. This is about the daily, consistent grind of being faithful. And the specific words used here are really, really telling.
So the Greek word that's translated as labor is kopos. And this word is fascinating. It doesn't just mean you're busy or you have a long to-do list. It means toil. It's that intense, demanding effort that leaves you weary, but in a good way. It's purposeful work that actually costs you something.
And right alongside that intense work, you've got this word hypomune, which we read as patience. But listen, this is not the kind of passive, just sit and wait patience. Not at all. This is a tough, rugged, active endurance. It's the grit to keep pushing forward when everything is telling you to stop. It's persevering under pressure and just refusing to quit.
And this isn't some isolated idea that just pops up here. This theme of valuing that gritty, steadfast work is woven all through Scripture. You see it in Galatians, where we're told not to get tired of doing what's right. You see it in Hebrews, which confirms God absolutely does not forget our labor of love. The message is crystal clear. That consistent, grinding, enduring faithfulness, it matters a lot.
But here's the thing, all that hard work, it wasn't enough on its own to earn this incredible commendation. The second part of this equation is just as vital, the test of truth. They didn't just work hard. They combined that work with some seriously sharp spiritual discernment.
The verse says they tried those who claimed to be apostles. The Greek word for that is pyrazzo, and it means to test, to examine, to scrutinize. Think of it like a full-blown investigation. They didn't just get a weird vibe or disagree with them. No, they actively put these claims to the test to see if they were the real deal.
So this is so crucial. This was an act of careful, deliberate judgment. Remember, the verse says they couldn't bear evil? Well, this is what that looked like in practice. They actively investigated claims to spiritual authority. They weren't just busy bees working in a bubble, they were fiercely protecting the truth their work was built on.
But why? Why was this testing so incredibly important? Why was it praised right up there with their hard labor and their endurance? Well, it's because Jesus himself was constantly warning about the danger of things and people who look righteous on the outside but are something else entirely on the inside.
Jesus did not mince words when he was confronting the religious leaders of his day who were inwardly corrupt. He called them hypocrites, a generation of vipers. This is some of the harshest language he ever used, and he saved it for those who were putting on a holy show while hiding total decay on the inside.
And this comparison just lays it all out, doesn't it? The Pharisees appeared beautiful, they looked righteous to everyone around them, but Jesus saw right through it. He said on the inside they were full of dead men's bones and hypocrisy. The church at Ephesus, they got this. They understood this danger, and they were willing to do the hard work of looking past the shiny surface.
So, what does this all mean for us right now? Well, this ancient commendation gives us this incredibly powerful, balanced model for what a genuine faith looks like today. It's not about choosing one thing over the other. It's about the essential combination of both.
The kind of faith that got praised in Revelation 2:2 is all about perfect balance. It's 100% faithful labor and endurance combined with 100% spiritual discernment and a deep love for what is true. You can't have one without the other. Hard work without truth can lead you way off course, and knowing the truth without putting it into action is just empty.
So how do we actually do this? How do we apply this principle of discernment? Well, Scripture gives us a really clear playbook. First, 1 John tells us straight up, don't be naive, test the spirits. Second, Jesus gives us a practical measure. Look at the results, the fruits. And third, we do what the Bereans in Acts did. We measure everything against the ultimate benchmark, the Scriptures themselves. It's a call to be both warm-hearted and clear-eyed.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. When you boil it all down, what have we learned?
We've seen that all our good works, all our labor, has to be planted in the soil of truth. We've learned that Jesus values this incredible combo: diligence, perseverance, and spiritual discernment. It shows that a real love for truth is non-negotiable, and that means we have to be willing to test claims and reject authority that turns out to be false.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. We live in a world that is just screaming with claims, messages, and authorities all fighting for our attention. So where in your world, where in your life, is genuineness being put to the test? It's the ultimate challenge of a faith that is both hardworking and truth-seeking.